Thank you everybody for joining us today and for making the time in your busy schedules. I'm so excited that you're here to spend this time with us. And we have an amazing speaker with us today, Miss Julaine Faulkner. So we will get into some of her introduction and a lot of her tips and tricks that she has to share with us in just a little bit. But I want to go ahead and get it started by allowing everybody to introduce themselves. I love to see where people are joining from in the chat. So if you would like to say hello, please drop a hello in the chat and tell us where you're joining from. This is a live event today, so we are coming to you live here on March 23rd at 12 Eastern time. And so I just love being here, sharing this space with you all. And especially this month, we are celebrating National Women's Month and all of the amazing women that we have here in the freelance community. Of course, this event is open to the gentlemen as well. So please don't feel like you're not welcome here. Everybody's always welcome here. We're just especially excited to shine the spotlight on some amazing women in freelancing. So hello, Amy in Houston and Diana in Italy. I love seeing where everybody's calling in from. Let's see. For all the men here, who's here for the women, the Chads. Hey, John, thanks for calling it out. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. All righty. Well, thank you everybody for making the time again today. So let's go ahead and get this started. So again, this is our Upwork Community Virtual Hour Series. This is a monthly event for our community members to connect live with each other and the community team. If you don't know me, my name is Reagan Murray Lara, and I'm one of the US ambassadors for Upwork. And I specifically focus on the community building events and initiatives just like this one. So we're gonna have a really involving and engaging event today, and I'm so excited for you to hear some more from our guest, Julaine, in just a little bit. Some quick housekeeping notes. There is a general chat and a question tab to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and enable the Q&A now. So if you didn't see it before, you can hopefully see that in the chat tab over to the right. If you have a question specifically for Julaine or myself that you would like for us to try and answer, please put that in the Q&A tab rather than the general tab. If you put it in the general tab, there's just a lot of conversation and chatting going on, which is awesome, but it makes it a little difficult for us to scroll through and find questions that we're trying to answer when we get to the Q&A portion. So if you do have questions, try to put them in the Q&A tab. If you would just like to chat and put some other information into the general chat, that's totally fine. A little overview of our format for today's event. We'll start with our panel discussion presentation from Julaine. And then we will hopefully have some time for a few questions from the audience for about 5-10 minutes or so. So again, that's where I mentioned put your question in the Q&A tab if you would like for us to take a look at that so I can more easily find it. And then lastly, we're going to finish the second half of the event in networking breakouts. I'll remind you guys again when we get to this time, but when it is time for the breakouts, please make sure you accept your pop-up box that asks you if you would like to join your breakout. You must accept this pop-up. You must click yes. You must click join my room. If you miss this invitation or you don't click yes, I am not able to manually add you to the breakout rooms, unfortunately. So you'll miss your chance to join if you don't accept your invitation at that time. So please join. Again, you don't have to if you're just here for the panel portion of the event. That is totally fine. But I'll remind you again when it's time to go into our breakouts. So without further ado, let's get our presentation started. So just a quick little overview. Myself again, I'm Reagan. I'm one of the community ambassadors for Upwork, but I am also a freelancer myself, and I'm a professional event planner. And then we have the wonderful Miss Julaine Faulkner. She is founder and CEO of her own company, Kickstart to Profit. She's an international business consultant and helps grow tons of companies through coaching and through a lot of her tips and tricks that she's going to share with us today. So I will let her introduce herself a little more in just one moment. Whoop, went too fast. Sorry, guys. Okay, agenda. But we went through our introduction already. And I do have a quick Upwork update that I want to share with you before we get into Julaine's presentation. So here is that update. In case you guys have not seen, you might have gotten an email about it or read about it online, but we are launching new Freelancer Plus perks. So this is super exciting. It previously went from just your basic free membership that you were able to get some hourly protection, roll over your unused connects, some fixed price payments that were secured. But now we're offering some additional upgrades for the Plus membership that's going to include some really, really great support if you do need it. So you see where it says new down here at the bottom, these are some of the new features that we're adding. So you're going to get personalized coaching via email. You're going to be able to attend Upwork coaching office hours. You're also going to get a 0% service fee when you bring new clients. You're going to get access to Freelancer Plus groups and skip the line for certifications and other exclusive events. So we're really excited about this. We want to find a way to support our Plus members even further, allow them to get some more tactical coaching. I know that you guys all enjoy attending these events and I love having you here, but I'm sure being able to get that one-on-one connection and coaching will be really valuable as well. So make sure you check this out. We're all really excited and we hope that it will help you kickstart your business as well. So now, without further ado, I will pass it to Julaine to talk more about herself and give us a little introduction before we get into her presentation. So Julaine, take it away.
Thank you, Reagan. Thanks everyone for joining. So I'm Julaine Faulkner. As Reagan, I'm the CEO and founder of a wonderful business called Kickstart to Profit. And I'm a freelancer on the Upwork platform as well. And it has been a wonderful experience. I'm a mother and a wife, and it has been an amazing journey being on Upwork for the past, 7 years. I love the experience, and through that, I've garnered some really great relationships. And that's why we're here today, to impart some of that knowledge with you. I'll be really brief. I know time is far spent, and we want to get to the networking session. So we're going to talk about how women can remain relevant in this freelancing business. We know the world is ever changing. And as a woman, we have to be innovative to be recognized and to stand out and to make an income. You know, over the past 2 years, prior to the pandemic, most persons look at freelancing as a little gig, something that they don't want to invest in. But I think when COVID hit, the reality kicks in, like, guess what? This is a multi-billion-dollar platform. It is a great industry that we can all tap into. We want to make the most out of it. So today we're going to talk about the tricks and tips for women to remain relevant. Not just for women, as Reagan said, men as well can benefit, but our primary focus is on the women. So in this presentation, I'll talk about the effective tips and tricks that can help you to gain edge over the competition. There's a lot of persons competing in this space, so we have to figure out how we can boost our business, how we can remain relevant and get those top bids and gigs that's on the platform. There are 7 tips I want to look at. So we're going to name all 7. I want us to talk about knowing your market and your areas of expertise. That's the first worthwhile tips that we're going to look at. The other one is how we position ourselves in the marketplace. We're going to talk about keeping an updated profile or portfolio, and also leveraging social media, because we know that it has the good perks and the bad perks. So we're going to talk about how we can leverage social media so we can remain relevant and make the most out of this business. Also, we're going to talk about nurturing existing clients and also offering stellar client experience. We are going to look at mastering the art of networking. And last but not least, price point, which is the value for the money. Now, you want to know your place, know where you stand in the market, know your area of expertise. You're going to see a lot of opportunities out there. Look at yourself, look at your experience, and see which of those areas that speaks to you, right? As a freelancer, we should figure out what we're good at and become an expert at it. If you're good at writing, you want to look at those ghost writing experiences, those social media jobs, but look at what you're good at and how you can make money and become an expert in that area. Another tip, need to know who your ideal clients are. So you can't be offering one service, but you're targeting somebody totally different. You will not land any opportunities there. So know who you are and what you are good at and where to find those persons, right? Define your skills clearly and be one of a kind. So if you have 10 skills, look at the top 3 that you can really own in and make some money from. Now, when you identify what you're good at, you're going to position yourself correctly in the marketplace. You're going to seek out the right opportunities and work towards acquiring them. Market how you get people to learn about your services and attract clients. That's super important. And don't be
Sorry,
afraid
guys.
to use.
No, I'm sorry, Julie, and I just wanted to clarify really quickly. We had some technical difficulties right before we joined, so I'm so sorry that I was jumping through on her presentation a little bit. I apologize for that. I wanted to make sure that we're keeping on track with your presentation because you're giving so many great tips and tricks. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting this all back up to speed. So we kind of went over the introduction here and over your 7 top tips. So I want to get back to onto your slides. So again, apologies everyone. Thank you for sticking with us in the technical difficulties, such as the nature of live events, right? This is how you know it's live, because otherwise we would have edited this out. So you know you're here with us live, and I appreciate your patience, everybody. Take the spotlight away from you, Julian, back to you. You were just sending out so much like great information. I wanted to make sure that like visually everybody was able to see your amazing presentation as well.
That's fine. It's the world of freelancing. We can look it up later on. That's okay.
Yep.
So point number
Exactly.
2, we're going to talk about point number 2. We're going to position ourselves correctly in the marketplace. So we talk about seeking out the right opportunities. We talk about knowing where you're going to put yourself and people you're going to target. And I'm saying we should not be afraid to use social media. Use our blogs, join any community groups. That way persons can know about you and what you have to offer. Something I love to tell other junior associates is also attend industry training, workshop, and seminars. Don't be afraid to get more knowledge. We are living in an ever-growing world, so we have to keep abreast with technologies, information. So we have to upskill ourselves every day. We also have to learn to unlearn some of the things that we were taught, so we can learn new mechanism to gain a cutting edge as women in the industry. And also have a strong brand identity. If you're going into a particular color or a name, wherever you see it, somebody should say, hey, that's Julie from Kickstarter Profit. That's Julie from Upwork. Amazing. It's well defined and persons can locate you easily. Market yourself on the most suitable platforms for your target audience. On Upwork, we have a lot of industries, persons all over the globe who are looking for amazing talents like you and I. So we want to position ourselves on those platforms. And I'm not saying Upwork is the only, but Upwork is really amazing. So we can tap into Upwork, always keep our profile updated because it will be worthwhile in the long end. And we're going to talk about keeping.
I was just gonna say, I think this is especially important, just like you were saying, Jelaine, about the rise of women in like after the pandemic and how much like change there has been and how much opportunity has been open to us. So if people are looking for more information about you, you want them to be able to find something so they can at least, you know, say this is the same person. So even if it's just your LinkedIn profile, right? Making sure like maybe your photos match and that it's easily the same. People can easily, you know, look you up on LinkedIn and say, oh, that's definitely her. That gives you a lot of like instant credibility if they can find another way to like match, you know, what it is that you're putting out there. Love that part. And we can go back or go down onto part 3.
Perfect. And that segues us into keeping an updated profile or portfolio. So across all platforms, what I do is to copy my Upwork URL that leads back to Upwork. So if persons want to find me to hire me, guess what? This is where I am. My business here. You can just click one link and Upwork take care of the rest. It is really great. So if you have Instagram, if you have Facebook, if you have LinkedIn, utilize those pages and ensure that they're up to date. Whenever you acquire a new skill or certification, be sure to update those platforms as well. And it is really, really important. When you're putting information out, ensure it is not in the form of a story too long or a book. It has to be compelling and capturing the most relevant skills that you want those persons who are trying to get a freelancer to see that, hey, this person's fit my job. I have this problem. They have this solution. I want to work with this person. All right. And also, one thing I recommend is when you get those wonderful reviews, don't be afraid to add them to your profile or portfolio. It goes a long way because word of mouth is one of the biggest things that will break you or make you as a freelancer. So
Yeah, and I
that's
wanted to touch on this as well, just on the short and compelling part of it, because I know I see a lot of questions in the chat already about, how to write better proposals or how to why people aren't viewing your profile. I think a lot of times people do fall victim to putting in too much information and you overwhelm people. When somebody's looking to review your profile or to review your proposal, they're busy, right? They don't have time to spend probably 20 minutes reading through your profile or your proposal. They want to get to the point. They want to feel confident right away that you're the person that can, help them address their needs. So sometimes too much information is not necessarily better. So I really like keep it short and compelling, right? Like finding the information that's the most important and to put it out there and to put it up there, because that can help people make decisions much more quickly when they're reading your profile or they're reading your proposal, rather than kind of getting bogged down with a lot of information that might not be necessary at that stage in the process, right?
perfect, Reagan. Absolutely. So we're going to talk about point number 4, which is utilizing social media as a way of promoting your business. And one of the takeaways that even though you have your profile set up, you have to maintain it. So you have to keep updating it. And if you have your skills and no one knows where to find you, that's useless. You can be the greatest bread maker, the greatest carpenter, the greatest chef. But if I can't find you, it makes no sense. And as a freelancer, our best friend is the internet. So we want our online presence to be captivating, to be radiant, to be wonderful and easily accessible, right? So that's my on social media and how we're going to use social media to promote our freelancing business. Now, when we do all of those wonderful things and we're starting to get our clients, we're starting to make some money, what are we going to do? We have to offer great customer service. Now, as a freelancer, there's no doubt that we have many other persons who are going for these jobs. So my tip here is do not promise what you cannot deliver. During your interview, be very honest, be open, and be communicative. You want to ensure that you're very clear. If you have prior obligations, ensure that the person you're speaking with understand. And also to build a relationship with your clients. It's really important. When it comes down to deadline, we want to set smart deadlines, ensure they are reasonable. Because you're going to give me a glass of water at 12 noon and come 2 o'clock, there's no water. That's a bad review. You overpromise and underdeliver. So let's be realistic. I know we all want to make money, but we have to be realistic, be open, be honest in what we're doing, right? So we have to offer great.
So much. Yeah, I think that I get a lot of feedback from people too about, why did I get a bad review, or why did this client not like working with me? And I really think a lot of it comes down to what you just said, of being open and honest and communicative with them from the very beginning, because, and I think it starts with being honest with yourself about what you can deliver and how much you have on your plate. Because if you have the conversation with the client and just like you said, or you promise them water at 12 noon, but you realistically can't get it to them by then, honestly, they would have probably been totally fine if you said, I'll get it to you by 2 p.m. and then you give yourself more time to get it done. However, if you set up, misaligned expectations, or you weren't communicative with them about everything up front, then they weren't able to, talk through and work through, whatever you have on your plate to make it work for both of you. Instead, they think that you just have it under control. They're expecting something to come by a certain time. And when you don't deliver, you have reason A, B, and C as to why you couldn't get it done, but ultimately your client doesn't care. They care that you said you were going to get it at this time and you didn't get it at this time. So just being really communicative, even though it can feel like a hard conversation to have, it can be, difficult to say, just being honest, I have some prior commitments. I'm also working on this other project, so I don't think I'll be able to get this information to you by Friday, but is it okay if I get it to you, before the end of day on Monday? Will that work with your timeline? And then your client, is understanding of the timeline in which you're able to do it, and then you're able to deliver something to them in the time in which they're expecting. So I really feel like this is just, I had to say something, had to jump in here because I think this is so important. And again, it can feel like a difficult conversation up front, but it's going to save you so much headache on the back end. And I think really it's going to get you that amazing review, and it's going to, get your clients to say, wow, Julaine builds this relationship with me, and she tells me exactly what's going on with her. Miles, there's no surprises. I don't have to spend my time worrying about, is Julaine going to get it done? You feel open and communicative and confident that you're going to do the work that your client needs. So I really love this tip, and I hope that you all can take it and apply it to your life. Have those harder conversations up front, but I promise it's going to set you up for more success.
Absolutely. And our clients, they're humans. They understand that things come up. We have families. And as women, we have husbands, we have our spouses, we have families, we have things that we need to do. So I always try to set that precedence from the onset. So I'm very careful. And that's a part of nurturing our existing clients. That's on to point 5B. How we're going to nurture those clients, right? We're going to get to know our clients. I have clients who pretty much, my daughter walk in on my meeting. They're like, hey, you have a child? Yes, I have a child. She's at home now. It's COVID, blah, blah, blah. Then I have dogs. So we build that relationship. We're not robots. We're being human beings, right? So you get to know your clients. You build that relationship. One important thing that I see most of my clients like when I ask, hey, we have done this project. Do you have anything else coming up? You find out if they have anything else that they need your help with. They really appreciate that, and Upwork have a great way of extending an offer or running a contract for a new one. It's really easy, so you don't have to worry about how you're going to get that. Communicate on the platform, get the other jobs going. It's really great, right? And offer support. Sometimes they need the help. They may have a meeting to attend to and they want something. Hey, we can take care of it. So, and also
Exactly.
My final tip on this point, don't be afraid to ask for those recommendations or testimonials after completing a successful project. When you get those reviews, you build your portfolio. Take those comments, blast it wherever, link it back to Upwork. Persons come there, view your profile. Hey, you're expanding your business, you're being relevant because persons are seeing you. Right, Reagan?
Yes.
So
I love this. Yeah, and it definitely goes back to, I think, the idea of celebrating us as women specifically too. I think we have the competitive advantage in the nurturing department, right? In the ability to have that emotional intelligence and to really connect on a more personal level with our clients. So use that. I mean, that's what people are looking for. I think freelancing started out as this idea of, oh, I'll just hire someone one time to do this project for me. And it's really grown into a virtual expansion of their own teams and their own networks. So they do want someone that's a human. They do want someone that really cares about, their company and their projects as much as they do. So when Julaine's working with her clients and helping coaching them through growing their business, they can feel that she cares about them and about their business just as much as they do. So that's really comforting for clients. It's going to make them trust you. It's going to make them want to come back to you. And then I think the other piece that we can kind of, suffer a little bit from as women here specifically is being afraid to ask for additional things sometimes. So, saying, oh, they just didn't leave me a review. Maybe they didn't have anything, to say. And I would say 9 times out of 10, that's not true. They either probably just forgot or didn't even really know that was an option. So you can just send them a really nice message, say, hey, I loved working with you. And I hope that you enjoyed working with me as well. Would you mind taking 5 minutes to complete a review for me? It would really help me, grow my business and gain reputability. And I think most of the time your clients will be really happy to do so. They'll say, sure, I didn't even realize, or I'll take 5 minutes to do it this afternoon. And then boom, you have another amazing review to share with other clients and on your profiles as well. So I really love all of these points, but especially these last two, well, not last, but 5A and 5B very specifically. So I just love this. I just love this.
Perfect. Another thing that we want to do, Reagan, is also learn how to network. We think that once we have our profile on Upwork or wherever online is that it stops there, we have to expand our reach. There's lots of online discussion, be it on Upwork, on LinkedIn. Don't be afraid to join those group discussions. And also when you're networking, be passionate because persons will read your signals. And that's something that you want to be able to connect with your clients or prospective clients. And also be yourself. Relax, let them know, hey, sometimes I wear my hair like this, or this is me. I'm not going to be a phony. Because you can only pretend for that long. It will come out that, hey, she was not sincere on the onset. And that will spoil your relationship. So be yourself. Another important point, I know that we are in the virtual world at home, and it gives us the ease like me, not to comb my hair, but it's important to be on camera. It's super important because some parts of the world, even in the US, in California, all of my clients, they want to see my face. And I have to get it in my head. Though I'm in my own space, my own office, it's a part of the networking business. Utilize your camera, guys. Invest in technology. Right? Don't be afraid to show your gorgeous smile, your eyes. God made us fearfully and wonderfully. So don't be afraid to showcase all of that, right? And also decide on what events are best for you to attend. If they're keeping an event on gas, inline pipe inspection, and you have no knowledge on that, and you have nothing to do with inline inspection, don't waste your hour. But if you are a good maker and there's a seminar on how to raise yeast, you go to that seminar. So you look at where you want to put your focus and join those discussions and try to connect with those that you meet. For me, if I meet you online, I'm going to say, hey, Reagan, we met at the Upwork virtual event. Go to LinkedIn. I would love to connect here. And we build a relationship from there. So don't be afraid to connect with persons that you meet in the online space or even when you're traveling, because persons you'll meet face to face who want to hire a freelancer. Don't be afraid. And if persons do reach out to you because you leave that wonderful impression, don't be afraid to respond. I'm not saying we should invade our space with stalkers. Know what to respond to, and how to respond to them. Right? It's business. We're in the business space. Be professional, be polite, and be prompt. So that's how we're going to network. And before we go to the final point, anything you want to add here, Reagan?
No, I think you really hit it all on the head. I think people who are on this event, are valuing the networking piece of it, that they're here to hopefully stay for the networking portion and connect with one another. And I think just that during COVID or the peak of it, it was easy to, stay in our bubbles because the events weren't happening. So I think it's just retraining our brains a little bit, like you said, to say, okay, like, I know I've been used to not going to events. I haven't been going out to networking, but now things have changed and it's time to, get back to doing that. So over the last couple of months, I've had the option and enjoyment of being able to network with people in person again. And honestly, nothing can replace like the power of an in-person connection, right? Like of meeting somebody face to face and talking with them, even if it's brief. A lot of times it will leave such a strong impression in your mind that you want to come back. And you want to talk with them again. So don't pass up on those opportunities. And just like you said too, like you never know where you're going to find the opportunities to network with somebody. One of my favorite places is in the airport because everybody travels or everybody's in the airport. So you could be sitting next to someone on the plane or standing next to someone in line who, could be your next huge major client. You don't even know, what they do and what they might need help with. So like always being open to that conversation and connection. I think is important. And so just reminding ourselves to stay open to that as much as possible.
Perfect. And with all of our great work, we're going to talk about pricing yourself right. Because an effective pricing strategy is important for continued success as a freelancer. If you're offering stellar service, great networking strategies, you want to ensure that your price point is right. You want to set your value metric and plan to evaluate it so often. When I started Upwork 7 years ago, my rate was like way down. But after getting the experience, I evaluate my experience, evaluate what I'm doing, and I'm able to increase my rate. I'm very honest. I don't overcharge and I deliver service for the money being received. We want to also review your customer database because sometimes you'll see a bid on their budget. You don't want to go over or under. It's like you're having a party and the boss say, hey, we have $10 to spend and you spend eight. Next year, you're going to get an $8 budget. So try to utilize what is given to you. So if you see a budget range, use your discretion to bid for that within the budget and ensure your price is sustainable. You don't want to undercharge and that we can't pay your internet bill, you can't pay your phone bill, you can't upgrade your PC. You want to be realistic when you're getting the price point and explore dynamic pricing because things change. Right, this month you may get an offer and something changed. There's a demand, there's war going on, and you have to upskill yourself. Your price can go up because the demand for your service is there. So you have to keep abreast and know different strategies for pricing. Now, and know that you're offering value for the money earned. Everybody wants to get a bang for their buck. So if I'm going to give you $10, ensure there's value. You may get a bonus at the end or a great recommendation. And those are my 7 nuggets for today. I hope you have learned a lot. And I'm going to hand over back to Reagan, where we're going to segue into a Q&A. Thank you all for listening. I hope you have found this segment useful, and I'll be here.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Julian. I really enjoyed that presentation so much. I know I had the chance to review it beforehand, but really hearing you go through it and like insert your passion to it is so exciting. And I can see why your clients are so excited and enjoy working with you. So I hope that that's something that you all can feel as well and maybe take into your own business and feel that like when you are excited about something, when you're passionate about something, you can really feel how much they care about it and how much like work and effort they're going to put into it. So imagine if you created your own business, right? You created a startup and it's your baby and you love it so much. You want somebody else who's going to help you and care about it just as much as you do. So, you know, try to be that person or try to put on that thinking cap, right? When you're talking to your next client or when you're writing that next proposal, so you can really share with them your passion and how much you love. So I'm going to go ahead and take maybe 2 questions from our Q&A here, so I don't cut into your networking time too much either, since we just talked about the importance of networking, everybody. But let's start with, well, first, a little housekeeping. John asked, is this recording going to be uploaded? And that is yes. You will find this on our community events page, so make sure you check that out if you want to see the recording to check out Julian's wonderful tips again. I've also seen a few questions on here about, let's see, from Vanessa Quiros. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, but she says, considering how AI is rapidly evolving and getting better, what advice can we provide in either leveraging current AI technologies or staying relevant in the face of remote jobs being mentioned if we're increasing the use of AI? So I know, Julian, we haven't really talked about this topic before, but I did like this question because it is a hot topic of conversation. So have you used ChatGPT or AI at all? Or what are your general thoughts of incorporating AI into any of your work?
In terms of artificial intelligence, the human element of things cannot be fully taken out. We can only advance on technologies. When it comes down to AI and technology, it's always something that's good to utilize. But for me personally, the most I do is a bot service. Yeah. It's always good to learn new technologies, go with the trend. So, but I always say human element of things is always important. The emotional part of it, that will keep us and sustain us in the long run, right?
I love that.
The emotion connection is always there.
Especially as we were talking before, like kind of lends to women specifically, right? That we really do have that emotional connection. We have that, you know, just like the intuition to pick up on things. So that part, I think AI will never be able to replace. So I love what you said about just staying up to date with it. You know, you don't want to be like your grandparents with cell phones, like, oh, what is this thing? How do I use it? right? So still just like be a little up to date reading about it, figuring out ways that you can or can't utilize it. And I think just like you mentioned, like the human element can never be totally replaced. I think we can rely on AI to kind of take out some of the legwork for us, but we're
Yeah.
still the ones with like the creative ideas, with the emotional support, with, so really all of the creative part comes from us. And then we can kind of just lean on machines to help us do like the work we need to get to that creative point, I think. So yeah, I think it's a hot topic.
And once you put in is what you get out. If you put garbage in, it's garbage out. So
yeah,
we're always going to be a human element of things cannot be replaced, but can only be advanced upon.
Exactly. Well, amazing. And growing through some more of these questions, I'm just seeing a lot of praise as well for you, Julaine, about extremely beneficial points. Thank you. And I really enjoyed your presentation. So I will end it here for the presentation portion of the event.